Hi, I'm Mike, owner of the In-Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm doing the new arrival video for December 13th, 2024. Starting to get back to putting some, new arrivals out there this week. Last week was really tiny, but, that was the week after Record Store Day. I figured manufacturers probably thought everybody was pretty tapped, which they probably were. So they delayed things a week. So here we are. This has been a really big week for new pre-order announcements. And I'll start with Rhino's Start Your Ear Off Right. They do two big, pretty brick and mortar indie record store exclusive series a year. They do Rocktober and Start Your Ear Off Right. What's kind of cool about the last Rocktober and now the new Start Your Ear Off Right is they're actually using it as an excuse to allow brick and mortar record stores to get access to some Rhino hi-fi titles. So the Rhino hi-fi titles that are available on this particular Start Your Ear Off Right, which comes out, these all look like they come out January 3rd. Rhino Hi-Fi, Tres Hombres, Fandango, all the Rhino Hi-Fi titles individually are coming out as Start Your Ear Off Right titles. A few other cool things, they're doing 3 Dream Theater titles, Images and Words, Falling into Affinity, and Metropolis Part 2. Fleetwood Mac's Live at the Record Plant, that was actually a exclusive to the box set, which is actually on my top 100 imprint analog records you should own list. Not that album, but the box set. The box set was great. It has a bunch of all analog cuts from the pre-Stevie Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham era, but it includes that Live at the Record Plant, and that was really the only way to get it. It looks like they're doing that as a breakout now. Lindsey Buckingham's 20th Century Lindsey. It is a 4 LP box set, I think, with 3 albums in like a rarities box. They're doing 3 Ramones titles, and I think these also are break aparts from the recent, maybe Record Store Day box. Too Tough to Die, Brain Drain, and Halfway to Sanity. We also got the English Beats Special Beat Service. Then, when do these this next batch come out January 31st. Starting with the next 2, which are technically a new series from Rhino titled the Rhino Reserve. So I got this Start Your Ear Off Right sheet a couple, 2-3 weeks ago, and I didn't think anything of it other than the ZZ Tops. I'm like, oh, cool, we're going to get access to the new Rhino Hi-Fi ZZ Tops. Fantastic. All analog, cut by Kevin Gray. They sound killer. But what I didn't know is they actually dropped a new series similar to the Rhino Hi-Fi. It seems like they're Rhino Hi-Fi titles, not cut by Kevin Gray, with somewhat cheaper of a cover, but all analog. I think these 2 are cut by Chris Bellman from the original master tape. And then the rest of the series is going to be done by Matt Luthans. That seems to be where this is going. But when I first saw this, I'm like, oh, that's a killer album. I hope it sounds good. But now I'm blown away. They're doing Eddie Hazel's Game, Dames, and Guitar Things. Absolutely smoking funk album. There's a couple of Beatles records covers on there that are just super hot. I've talked about this record highly many times in the past. Now we're going to get like a proper audiophile version of it. And I like what they're doing with this too, because they're billing it as like a budget audiophile series, all analog, but $31.99. So it is on the lower price side of, hell, records in general nowadays. But all analog, cut from the master tapes. Gonna be, I believe, a good jacket, just not a gatefold. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. This is the first 2 in the series we know about. The next title from the same series is going to be Alan Toussaint's Southern Nights. So, yeah. The more all analog series, the better. Okay. Rush, they're doing Presto, Roll the Bones, Counterparts, and Test for Echo. The Cult, Beyond Good and Evil. Stax Volt, the complete singles. I think these came out as CD box sets back in the day, but now they're doing them on vinyl. 59 to 68. There's a volume 1 and a volume 2. I think they're both 3 discs apiece. Again, all January 31st. God, I don't even know when these come out. These might be around the same time. We've got Grateful Dead's Skull and Roses. And Yes, Fragile. This is the Steven Wilson remix. Skull and Roses is January 17th. The Yes is January 24th. And then we have some regular pre-orders. Yeah, most of the pre-orders this week were Rhino titles. Samara Joy's Linger a While. That comes out January 25th. Bob Dylan, the soundtrack to the new biopic, The Complete Unknown. That comes out January 24th. Grease 2, the original motion picture soundtrack, March 7th. And Juice WRLD, The Party Never Ends. Indie exclusive, March 7th. Okay. Speaking of Samara Joy, we've got an autographed CD. I don't do anything really with new CDs, but when I get autographed exclusives available, I order them. These are limit one, and I've got about, I don't have a ton of them, but yeah, Samara Joy's Portrait autograph CD. It's kind of nice because the autograph is visible. It's on the actual booklet and not an insert. So it's visible even though it's factory sealed. I'm not, sometimes if it's an artist I like, I'll buy the CD just to get the autograph, but I'm not going to listen to the CD because I don't really listen to CDs. But it's kind of a bummer because a lot of times the autographs are actually in the booklet, or you can't see the autograph, so you have to open it, but not there. So cool. Okay, Daft Punk's Discovery. This is the Interstella 555 edition. This is the Daft Punk Discovery Japanese edition, first reissue, double vinyl. Includes an obi and Japanese edition made in Germany. There we go. I listened to this today and it is fire. I was looking forward to this for months. This was kind of the title in the series that I was the most looking forward to. That is Jimmy Smith's Root Down. This is a Jimmy Smith live show, but holy hell is this funky as hell. I highly recommend checking this out. It is great. From the very first track where he opens up, just not only funky organ, but there's a lot of like funky wah-wah pedal in this, and it's just absolutely fire. Probably the most expensive record that Jimmy Smith ever put out on Verve. Might be Jimmy Smith's most expensive record that's not a Blue Note title. Always been in demand. Very funky. DJs have been spinning it and kind of driven up the price of that title for years. But check it out. Really awesome. The next Blue Note Tone Poet, we've got Freddie Roach's Good Move. Hank Mobley, Blue Mitchell. Fantastic. All analog cut from the original master tape by Kevin Gray. Let's see if we know who did this. Normally Ryan Smith, Ryan Smith did Root Down. He's been doing a lot of the analog productions and acoustic sound series titles. Not all of them. Matt Luthen's cuts a chunk, and then some things get spread out. But I think he does a majority of those acoustic sound series titles. So this particular album, I think, is going to come out like 18 different ways this year. Mariah Carey's Merry Christmas, and it's kind of funny because I don't like Mariah Carey, but I love this record. This is a great Christmas record. It is a classic. This is one of those records that, they'll be playing 50, 60, 7 years from now. This is a modern Bing Crosby White Christmas. It is just that ingrained in culture. But, it seems to be a lot of people don't think about it the same way as I do. But I don't think that's debatable. I mean, she doesn't need to ever make another record. She could just live off of the royalties of this. But it's coming out every which way you can possibly imagine. So this Friday, I finally was able to track down my MoFi order. I've got the one step of this, the 45 RPM of this, and the SACD coming this Friday. This is a 2LP deluxe edition, not quite a box set, but it is because it comes in this hardbound book. This is a 2LP, 24-page booklet of Mariah's Christmas Journey with a special Mariah Christmas card. So you've got the original album, and then you've got Disc 2 is live at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. I also believe there's a standard version of this coming out. I think there's a Zoetrope picture disc of this coming out. But yeah, you can expect this for as long as I'm making new arrival videos and for as long as they're making records. You can just, it's like the Beatles. You could just anticipate them pounding out different versions of this thing till the end of time. It's, it's reached King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard levels of variations at this point. Speaking of King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard, I don't know, Neil Young. But yeah, the other guy who never ceases to amaze me on the quantity of records he has coming out. Mastered from the original analog tapes. Nice. Neil Young's On the Beach. 50th anniversary. Pressed on clear vinyl. There was actually a hype sticker underneath that, but they tagged over it. We've got George Harrison's Brainwashed, mastered for vinyl from the original analog stereo master tapes. What does that mean? Well, to me it means it's digital until I hear otherwise. But yeah, it has the original kind of texture-ish, but kind of that linen cover like the original. We've got Culture Club's Color by Numbers. This is the limited edition light blue colored vinyl reissue. Cut from the original analog production masters. Well, now that sounds like it's an analog cut. By who? Wait a minute. Digitally mixed by Steve Levine and John Moss. All right. Might have been something that was recorded digitally, dropped down to analog as a backup, and then maybe that was cut from that analog tape. I'm not sure. We've got the new Snoop Dogg, Missionary. This is a picture. This is a picture disc. It took me a second. I went right for my little price tag there to see what this is. So the name of the album is Snoop Dogg's Missionary. The cover is a prophylactic, as you can see there, but it is a picture disc, and the picture disc is of a rolled up prophylactic. That's just funny. I don't know what to tell you. It's I don't listen to Snoop Dogg. I really don't care about it, but yeah, that's just funny. That's funny right there. Okay, up next we've got DMX, Lit Us Party, Chapter X. This is a 12-inch EP. There is a lot of killer jazz reissues this week. This is just a week of jazz. It's fantastic. So not only did we have Root Down, we had the Blue Note Tone Poet, new OJC, one of my absolute favorite jazz series right now, all analog, cut from the original master tapes by Kevin Gray. We got Cal Tjader's Latin Kick. Absolutely fantastic record, and so difficult to get clean, quiet fantasy pressings from back in the 50s and 60s. They did a lot of that colored vinyl. It didn't wear really well. It didn't hold up really well. Didn't sound very good to the, back in the day. So having nice, modern, all analog cuts of these records, fantastic. Continuing with some fantastic jazz, we've got Grant Green's Visions. This is an all analog cut by Kevin Gray, Blue Note Classic Series title. And Lonnie Smith's Drives. Lonnie hanging out there. What looks like maybe a Mark IV Lincoln? No, that's 1970. God, I have a 1970 Lincoln Mark III. If you ever shopped in the store, every now and then in the wintertime, you'll see it parked out front. But this album is from 1970. That could be my car. I need to see the rest of that photo if it exists. Very cool. Continuing with some more fantastic jazz, we've got Art Pepper's Getting Together. All analog, cut from the original master tape by Bernie Grundman. The Art Pepper contemporary stuff is some of the absolute best stuff contemporary ever put out. Look at this, with an all-star rhythm section. Wynton Kelly, Paul Chambers, Jimmy Cobb, and Conti Condoli. And that is an all-star lineup. We've also got Art Pepper's Intensity. Recorded by Roy Dunan and featuring Dolo Cooker, Jimmy Bond, and Frank Butler. All analog, cut from the original master tape by Bernie Grundman. He's doing this entire contemporary series. Beautiful tip-on jackets. Can't go wrong. Oh, God, the jazz keeps coming. Look at this. This is going to be a busy week. I wanted to listen to the Root Down first because that was such an anticipated title for me, but I'll probably get to the Art Pepper next. Maybe the Nina. Yeah, a lot of great stuff. We've got the Cat, the Indus. Wait a minute. Yeah, the Cat, Jimmy Smith. This is actually one of those albums you actually can find pretty common. It's not a, this was a really popular record back in the day. It sold really well. I see them all the time. Doesn't really go for much money. I've never really seen it near mint. They're typically, at least the copies I find, always pretty played because that was just a record that got a lot of use. So another title that'd be nice to get a fresh, clean pressing of. We've got from the Acoustic Sounds Verve series, we've got the, let me see if we did this. This is Nina Simone in concert. Also done by Ryan Smith. I like how they're doing the LP mastering, Ryan Smith. No sparse code on these, unfortunately, but you know, these are more of a Verve title as opposed to an Analog Productions title where you would get a sparse code. Also, it's not my day. We've got Ben Webster's See You at the Fair. Let's see. No mastering credits on the back of this. Probably Ryan Smith, not 100% sure. We've got Nancy Sinatra's Country My Way, part of the archival series. Pressed at RTI includes a 20-page booklet, the definitive vinyl reissue of Nancy's 1967 country album. Features audio freshly remastered from the original analog tapes by John Baldwin. And then we have, look at that, Sugar. Same series. This is volume 8 in the Nancy Sinatra archival series. 20-page booklet, pressed at RTI, mastered by John Baldwin as well. On white vinyl, we've got The National's Rome. Ooh, that's kind of a creepy cover. The National is embossed with some foiling there. Fleet Foxes, live on Boston Harbor. This is one of those weeks, guys. You had Neil Young, we had Kevin Gray, and now we have King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard. I didn't know this going into it, but it's just, you know, there's enough Neil Young and there's enough Kevin Gray cuts and there's enough Wizard Lizard that it's just, it happens occasionally. This is Paper Mache Dream Balloon, Pink Sea Glass Edition. All right, we've got Jerry Garcia and David Grisman's Rare Bones, the duo recordings. Two versions of this. This is the 2LP black vinyl variant. And then we also have an indie exclusive limited to 3,000 copies, not numbered, but it is on Purple Blast colored vinyl. We've got Elvis Crispo, music on vinyl. Luther Vandross, Never Too Much, The Greatest Hits. All of Luther's greatest hits, featuring 4 previously unreleased tracks, including Michelle, the companion piece to the documentary. I didn't even know there was a Luther Vandross documentary. All right, I guess now I know. Melanie Gardot's The Essential Melanie Gardot. Limited edition LP, yeah, look at that. She's got kind of a greatest hits, maybe, essential, on white vinyl. Iron Maiden's Killers. This is, I feel like this is a album that has actually been out before, but manufacturers are getting a little weird. They're discontinuing SKUs, raising the price a little bit, putting a new barcode on it, and putting it back in print. It's the same record with the new barcode and a slightly higher price. Electric Wizard presents Black Magic, Rituals and Perversions. Okay. Sorry, it took me a minute there. My mind doesn't speak. You know, my mind has a difficult time reading. Although this is kind of on the lighter side of doom metal font, but still. We had to censor this cover with this blue painter's tape because there are some female breasts in this general vicinity on the cover. This is on mint green vinyl. Destroy Boys, Make Room. This is the indie variation. This reminds me of like the old days on a private press, you know, where they screw something up on the credits and they went back with a Sharpie and blocked it out. That's what they did here. Somebody was on here and they Sharpied it. I mean, they're not really trying to hide it. It's just a big Sharpie and then they shrink wrapped over it. You see that a lot on like local records where, you know, it's real small press distributed by the band. Something happened and they went back with a Sharpie and fixed it. King Diamond's Voodoo. I don't think I've ever seen that on a modern LP though. I mean, I've seen Sharpie on a modern LP, but that was more on the, we're going to try to hide it side, not we're going to just doodle over somebody's name so, you know, we don't have to redo the cover. We've got King Diamond's House of God, blood red and white Corona vinyl. This is an interesting new arrival video. We've got a lot of jazz and a lot of metal. King Diamond's The Puppet Master. I feel like there should be more Christmas. Why? Only Mariah's Christmas album? King Diamond's The Graveyard. King Diamond's Give Me Your Soul, Please. Clear ruby red vinyl. Limited to 600 copies. Is this stuff all? Yeah, it looks like some of these are limited to 600 copies. I do not imagine getting a restock of those. Leonard Skinner's Last of a Dying Breed. Limited edition, 2,000 copies on gold vinyl. This is, I saw the hype on this. This is like their, this is number 160, like 14th album, I think it said on the hype. Shaky Graves and The War Came, 10th anniversary. Includes unreleased recordings in a limited edition poster and an album download. Train, California 37. Stay. Nickelback. The live album recorded. I promise. I'm not even going to edit this out, but it's just been a long week. Catching up from Record Store Day. Holy cow. Nickelback. The live album. Recorded during the Get Rolling tour. I seen Nickelback open up for Three Doors Down back in maybe 2000. They were actually quite good. Now, don't hold me to that when it comes to modern Nickelback, which I personally find not that good. But when they opened up for Three Doors Down, I left that show and thought to myself, damn, that opening band was better than that, you know, the band we came for. This is just a restock I showed you guys last week. Frank Sinatra Collected. Greatest hits from Music on Vinyl. Got a restock of it. Boy, did they sell out quickly last time around. Limp Bizkit's Significant Other. What's on this? And we've got Joji In Tongues, 12-inch on blue vinyl. Looks like an EP. Yeah, 12-inch EP on blue vinyl. And last, we've got Bad Omens' self-titled album, Bad Omens. All of this stuff can be bought online at our website, theingroove.com. Until next time.